Am I the drama for wishing my wife to be a little more supportive? Here we go. I am a 47-year-old trans man who is married to my now wife of 51 for over 17 years now. Okay, so the wife is 51. The English was a little bit wonky there. We have one son now of who, oh, sorry, the English is really throwing me off. We have one son who is 11 who has some developmental issues and has AU, AUD, ADHD? AUDHD? I don't know. Autism ADHD? My wife has also discovered she has AUDHD when my son was diagnosed. I came out as trans in the beginning of my 40s after I realized that I was unhappy undercurrent. I felt all my life was in fact gender dysphoria. I'm rereading that to try and make sense. Basically, they were unhappy and realized it was gender dysphoria their entire life. I thought I was a lesbian before, but in hindsight, I am actually a straight trans man. My wife, who is cisgender, is pansexual, and although she was a bit shocked when I came out to her, did accept me. Also, I thought, I am lucky to live in the Netherlands where gender care and waiting lists are not that dramatic. Okay, lucky, show off. Especially when you're middle-aged. Yeah, so it's kind of like half your relationship, half your relationship, she knew you as one, and half the relationship, she knew you as another. I'm trying to see both sides. So I have been able to start medical transitioning quite soon with T and having a mastectomy. Okay, very happy for you, very proud of you. When I came out, my wife, when I came out, my wife, in brackets, after overcoming the shock, was supportive. She even suggested certain steps that I was unsure of taking because I was scared of causing issues with/for her. I'm obviously grateful she never threw me out or demanded a divorce instantly, which I feel would have been right for her to do, because she didn't ask for a trans partner. But here is the thing. Since I have been medically transitioning, she's been less and less supportive. I feel like you can accept someone for who they are, 100%, until you start to see the change for yourself. And that's when it kicks in. And it's not selfish to realize it's not what you signed up for. It's the way you go about it that's selfish. Like, I'm trying to use my words carefully. It's not selfish to not want to date a person, and it's not transphobic whatsoever. But what is transphobic is the language you use. Like, I am 100% supportive of trans people. I think trans lives are important and should be studied, like in schools, so people can get a better understanding, and so people know that trans people are not weird or scary or some weird like trend. But I also think it's okay to say that you are not attracted to trans people. But there is a nicer way of saying it. But I will say there are some trans people that are extremely attractive. So, don't, knock it till you try it. But again, if you've fallen in love with someone, I feel like it shouldn't really matter. So maybe I am just speaking out my ass here. I feel like you fall in love with your person rather than the look. And can HRT really change you that much? I mean, it changes your look, but it doesn't change you. Because HRT essentially is just puberty. I mean, are you really the same person? Or are you really just grown up, I guess? I don't know, I'm waffling a little bit. She became more angry with me, scolded me for not participating in chores, which is strange because the testosterone I'm taking is giving me so much more energy, and basically cured my depression. Gender affirming care is life saving care. Gender affirming care, not just for trans people, it actually helps a lot of cis people too. It saves lives. That I am doing way more things in and around the house than ever before. Accusing me of being aggressive, which I haven't been. I've actually been much more chill than before because life is so much more easier to deal with now. Yeah, again, trans people are happy and so much more like full of life after they begin transitioning and after they've transitioned because they are who they should be. But I am much more outgoing and have been much more open about my feelings and wants and needs and stuff. Before, I was essentially keeping everything inside. I fully understand that. If your spouse wants to transition and you weren't aware that was ever on the table, you feel like you got the bad end of the deal. Sorry, some of the grammar is a bit missing, so I'm trying to interpret it. Because I did rely on her for support when I had my mastectomy, and she didn't take that well. I tried to talk to her about it, offering information, asking her how she felt, if there was something she needed or wanted to know, gave her information and support groups, introduced her to my gender therapist so we could talk together about what it means for our son and for her and our relationship, but she kind of remained aloof, stating how she would take it as it would go. You can't really take a big surgery like that as it goes. You're going to be bedbound for a bit, and you've got to go to follow-ups. You've got to be in hospital for 3 days. Then you need help showering, using the bathroom, with everything, because you can't lift your arms. And then when my surgery happened, it all kind of fell apart. I'm not sure what started it, but she was resenting that I couldn't reach certain things. I couldn't drive the car, and she had to drive me back from the hospital and back to the hospital to have my drains removed and checkups. She then started asking for money for the petrol because we were driving with her car. Oh, I said sure, if that's what you want, then I will give it to you. Okay, so what happened to our partnership? She then asked what I thought about her asking for money for this, and I was honest, I was a bit taken aback because I wouldn't have asked for. Okay, the fact that she's doubling down and asking what you like, just leave it at that. For background information, my wife has two surgeries in her wrists, and I drove her back and forth several times with my car and cared for her until she could use her hands. And money was the last thing on my mind, so I was honest and said I found the question slightly inappropriate at that point because I was still in my first week of recovery, but I also feel like if you are married or in a long-term relationship, your partner needs your care. You care for them with the best of your abilities. Yeah, isn't it like in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer? That's what I feel comes with having a relationship. The answer ignited a heavy row argument where we both said some unpleasant things back and forth, which wasn't the best time or moment to say. She eventually did drive me to the hospital and I did pay her money for petrol. Okay, how much is petrol realistically? Like, I know it does get expensive, but it's not like you owe her hundreds. And with you saying row instead of argument, I'm assuming you're British, what is it, like £20? I was fed up with the whole argument. I'm not poor, so I thought, just do it and get over with it. But the whole episode stuck with me, and I haven't been able to let it rest. I'm 47 now. I really need to have lower surgery with everything that accompanies it to deal with my heightened dysphoria. Yeah, because the older you get, the higher the risk. I've told my wife that I need it, and again, she's been supportive, but now I don't trust her response anymore. I'm scared this will repeat itself. I'm planning some talks with my therapist to actively involve my wife more and see what this process will entail. Okay. Even though she says she would rather be avoidant about it because I really don't want to be in the midst of healing from the surgery. I just wish my wife would be more supportive. That's not a bad thing to ask for or a weird thing to ask for. Like, you expect your partner to be there, again, in sickness or in health. Have you thought about reaching out to a family member to help instead of your wife? And then if she asks why, show her this or tell her this. Because being around someone who will not help you when you are going through a surgery, this is a heads up. Lower surgery is a lot more intense than top surgery. You need a lot more care. And if she couldn't handle your mastectomy, lower surgery is not going to go any better. Like, you need help using the bathroom. So I feel like you stay in the hospital as long as you can and see if you can get a family member to help you. Because I don't think she will. And I think she will drag out the process for as long as she can. You need expert care and guaranteed help. It just sounds like she's denying herself the truth. And I feel like the truth is warranted. It doesn't make you a bad person. What makes you a bad person is lying. It's okay. It's okay if you are no longer attracted to your partner. You just need to be truthful, and lying is just going to hurt both of you and your kid. And you just need to talk about it, and she needs to understand that it's okay to talk about it. It's not a crime to want love from your partner, and it's not a crime for your partner to fall out of love with you. And you even said at the start you would understand. These things happen to people, and it's not a crime. There's a lot of supportive people in the comments, so hopefully OP can find the help that they need. But yeah, hopefully my ramblings made sense. Hopefully there's a supportive community that can help as well. Because there's a lot of things that I can't really talk about, because I don't really know much about how women think. But yeah, you're not the drama, and just hopefully things work out for the best, whichever way your marriage goes, and hopefully your son understands.